Hey cruisers, we are on a ship. It's been over 570 days since we've been on a cruise, so to say this feels good is an absolute understatement. We are on Adventure of the Seas, and behind me is Nassau here in the Bahamas. We're on the second sailing of Adventure of the Seas, getting ready to embark on a 7-night round trip sailing from the Bahamas. We're going to be visiting Perfect Day at Coco Cay twice, yes! We are going to Cozumel and we are going to Freeport on Grand Bahama. So we're just thrilled and to have this opportunity. I think that if there's anything that we've learned over the last year and a half, it's that travel, it's a gift, it's a privilege, it's an honor, and we are not taking this experience for granted. So we've just got onto the ship. It is about 3:15 p.m. Our check-in time at the British Colonial Hilton, that's how you check in for these cruises, was 1:30. So I'll explain the process to you. Essentially, the way that things worked is that we checked in at our assigned time. They looked at all of our paperwork, so wanted to make sure that we had our vaccinations for us. Our son isn't vaccinated, so COVID tests for all of us, the vaccinations, our set sail passes, our passports, and our son got a quick antigen test to get on the ship. And then we went and waited for about 30 minutes for that antigen test. And while we were waiting for that test to come back so that we knew that we were clear to get on the ship, we went ahead and did the rest of the check-in process. So just like you normally would, at a check-in counter, somebody was taking a copy of our COVID tests, our passports, and reviewing our set sail passes. And then before we knew it, we had a clear negative COVID test for our son, and we got on the shuttle and headed on over. It's a seamless process, maybe about 1 hour from start to finish. Now, keep in mind that if you're going to be on this cruise, don't necessarily expect your procedures and protocols to be the same. In fact, our protocols were different from the first cruise. So things are just really fluid right now, but needless to say, we're thrilled to be here. We walked around the ship a little bit and we just did our electronic muster drill for the first time. And you guys, I have to tell you, it is so easy and so quick. So what we did is we pulled up the Royal Caribbean app really fast and we watched a quick safety briefing on how to put on a life jacket. We listened to an emergency drill, and now what we're going to do is go to our muster station really fast and just check in to confirm. But you are gonna love this. You are gonna love the way that muster is now. It is a huge time saver. There is no hassle involved. You can do it whenever you want, as long as it's like before a certain time, before the ship leaves, but it feels really great. And it's just awesome because they're not closing down the bars or anything like that. The ship doesn't stand still for the muster drill. And you don't have all that unnecessary congregating, right? So it's been amazing. So that's the embarkation process. So how do we get here? We flew in a few days ago from California. We flew through Miami and we stayed for a few nights in Nassau at Atlantis, which is something that we've always wanted to do. We'd visited the water park before, but we've never actually stayed at Atlantis. So we had the honor of staying at the Cove, which is an upscale property within a property on the Atlantis campus, I guess you could say. It was an amazing stay, and I highly recommend that you extend your stay here in Nassau if you can, to include a little bit of hotel time, because it allows you to just breathe and get into that vacation mode before getting on the ship. I'm so glad that we did it. We had the most amazing time at the resort. We didn't even leave the property for 2 days. We just enjoyed all that there is to offer. So we checked in, today's Saturday, we checked into the hotel on Thursday. And the first thing that we did when we got to Atlantis is put our bags down in our room and we went straight down to the beach. When you're staying at the Cove, there's 2 really sheltered, beautiful beaches that you can swim in and relax in. And so we just went and enjoyed the calm, peaceful water. There's virtually no waves. We even got to see little fish swimming in the water right there, just right there off the beach. It's almost like a little, like a mini snorkeling. And then after that, we got to go enjoy the most incredible dinner at Nobu. Nobu is a Japanese restaurant on the property. They have Japanese food. They have an extensive selection of sushi and an even more extensive wine list and sake list. So it is an incredibly amazing experience. Now, to get to Nobu from the Cove, we actually took a shuttle because the property is giant. If you've never been to Atlantis, you need to know that it's really spread out. There's lots of hotel towers. The restaurants are all over the place. So we took a shuttle and we went to the main tower where the casino is. Nobu is actually located inside of the casino. We had the most amazing dinner there. Now, we had an unusual dinner there because, I know, don't get mad at us, but even though we love Japanese food, we don't eat raw fish, we don't really like sushi, so we let them know right away, hey, we don't eat raw fish, and we were a little embarrassed to admit it. But they brought us the most incredible selection of items, and if you are not a raw fish person and you want to experience Nobu, I just want you to know it is entirely possible. Make sure that you try some of their sake cocktails and check out their extensive cocktail list, because it is just the best. They have glorious, glorious cocktails. We just had beautiful starters, everything from edamame to a beautiful, beautiful shaved ice dessert at the end. It was something that is not to be missed. Save for it, go to Nobu, you will not regret it. So our second day at Atlantis, we decided to spend the day at the water park. We got some really good sleep, and then we got up and we went to Aquaventure, and we had the time of our lives. Of course, we hit the beach again first because you got to go to the beach, right? But we did the lazy river, which really isn't a lazy river. It's actually, I think it's called the Rapids River. So that was a really good way to kind of ease into the property. So we just kind of lounged on our little inner tubes and floated all around, and then we decided to hit a couple of the amazing slides. So the way that it works right now is that they're rotating what is and isn't open down there. The lockers are actually not open at all, so you want to make sure that if you're going, that you have a place, put your things by the pool, don't bring your valuables, but put your shoes and your towels by the pool, and then just go enjoy the water park. So we did that for the day, and that was wonderful. Then we cleaned up and we went to another dinner on the property at a restaurant called Seafire. Now, Seafire is actually kind of like a steakhouse, and it's located over in the, I'm blanking out on the name of it, but I'll go ahead and I'll type it down here really quickly, the place that you want to go to Seafire, but it's a steakhouse, and we took the shuttle to get there again because it's located on another section of property. So I have to tell you about the food, but first I want to tell you the coolest thing happened. After we got seated, we had the staff come over to us and say, hey, you need to come outside really quickly because there is a Junkanoo parade going by right now, and it's just awesome. So we popped our napkins down at the table, left behind my cocktail, and went outside and watched the most exhilarating, awesome Junkanoo parade right in the middle. I want to say it's Marina Village where this restaurant is located. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself on screen, but that was an incredible experience. So we had some just phenomenal starters there, just absolutely beautiful. They have a raw bar that's absolutely beautiful. I had a single giant prawn from the raw bar, and we had several other starters as well, like lobster bisque that we shared. My husband got the crab cakes. My son ordered the most glorious butternut squash soup, and I had a wedge salad. Then for our entrees, my son and I had the best filet mignon I've ever had in my entire life. It was fork tender and just absolutely exquisite. And my husband had the salmon. And then we closed off our meal with a little lava cake. The cocktails, the cocktails at Seafire, you guys, they are just glorious. So if you enjoy a steakhouse type of an experience, highly recommend that on the Atlantis property. And then this morning before we got on the ship, we went back out and hit those water slides just one more time for a couple of hours. And today we did the drop slide, the really, really scary drop slide, which was crazy. And then we did the serpent, which is a really exciting but mellow ride that culminates in going through the aquarium and the shark tank above you. Now, both of the slides we did today go through the shark tank, but one of them is a drop slide that is so fast that you can hardly see anything at the end. But if you focus on it, look up, you'll see it. But the lazy river one was kind of not the lazy river, the tube slide, the serpent that went through the shark tank was actually my favorite because you got to slow down, enjoy it, and just look above you and see all the marine life. It was a treat. Then it was time. We packed our bags. We reluctantly said goodbye to the Cove and hello to Adventure of the Seas. Check-in was really, really smooth. We had a car bring us over here and everything just went like clockwork. So here we are. on our first cruise in, gosh, you guys, well over a year and a half, and we are now going to go explore the ship. There's only 1,011 people on our sailing this week and maybe 40 kids or so. So we're gonna go just see what everything feels like and try to just truly absorb the fact that we are here. Thanks for joining us this week. Let's do this. We had a great afternoon around the ship. It's about 10 minutes till 8 and the sunset is absolutely gorgeous. We are getting ready to head to our first dinner in the main dining room. We have the 8 o'clock set dining time. Before we go, I just wanted to let you know a little bit about our afternoon. It's been an awesome day on the ship. There's only 1,100 people on the ship. I don't remember if I mentioned that earlier, but it's really quiet everywhere. So when we left the room a little bit earlier to explore the ship, we went and we checked out the arcade, which was really fun. The way that they're kind of doing the social distancing in the arcade is that they have every other game kind of blocked off for safety purposes. After we were done with that, we went and checked in at the shore excursion desk to just see if there were any price reductions or anything on Perfect Day at Cocoa Key prices for tomorrow. They're not, so make sure you book those in advance before you come on your cruise. So we're just gonna go ahead and enjoy Oasis Lagoon tomorrow. That was really great though. Then we went and did the muster drill, which was a super easy process. It's really great because what you do is just watch a quick safety video on your Royal Caribbean app. Basically teaches you how to put your life jacket on. Then you attest to everyone in your party having completed that drill, and then you report to your muster station. And you guys, you basically get like a personalized muster orientation for just a few minutes and then you're done. I think it's actually better in terms of safety and educating people. It's awesome. So that was great. Then we went up to the Windjammer. Wow. The Windjammer, the way that they're doing things, you guys, the buffet is not dead. The buffet is in full swing. The only difference is it's full service and the staff serves you. The staff was so friendly. The food was hot and exceptionally good. I had a couple of different Indian entrees, some kind of a delicious spicy chicken and some chickpeas and some naan. We had a cocktail up there. The boys got some really great things. I think Junior had some spaghetti. Mr. Cruise Subs TV had some fish and a variety of different little fun dessert items. And the crowds were really, really minimal. So it was a super relaxing experience to be up in the Windjammer. And then when we were done with that, we went and played some mini golf up on the upper decks. It was beautiful. We had tried to check out the Flow Rider, but it was already closed. So now we are going to say a quick goodnight to you all. We are going to go to dinner right now in the main dining room, and then we're gonna come back, unpack our suitcases, and we will see you tomorrow at Perfect Day at Cocoa Key. We're just gonna enjoy the chill side of the island. And then later in the cruise, you're gonna wanna be following us because we're gonna do the Thrill water park on our last day. So make sure that you're subscribed to our channel, turn the notification bells on, and also make sure that you're following us on Instagram because we've saved all of our Instagram highlights from this cruise in a little highlight, which is a little circle under my profile called Adventure of the Seas, and you can go watch little video highlights. We're gonna link to all of that in the description below. But for now, we're gonna sign off and just go rest and relax and get into kind of the vibe of this cruise. Thank you so much for following along with us on this journey. It means so much to us that you are here. Until next time, we'll see you on the high seas. Good night.